Hi there, this is me, Sergei M. DRATCHEV, and I'm wearing these funny glasses because these are the free glasses I got from Failing Trailers. Remember those two trailers I brought from where? Minnesota, Wisconsin, back to Canada, those big ones. And I'm in Pennsylvania, and this is the weekend. And usually I can go into New York on the weekend, but turns out because I'm over 13.6, they prohibit weekend travel. So I had to stay here at the Flying J. But the weather is very nice. People are reporting some really bad weather with winter storms and snow in the Midwest, right? Like North Dakota, and then Manitoba, Canada is all covered in snow. But here it's like it's really nice. You can see yesterday was a bit, the sky looked nasty, but today, but of course those are, as my late dad used to say, перистые облака. No good. Those high altitudes clouds, usually that's for bad weather. But we have, fall in full swing, nice leaves, colors, everything is good. And some people are building snowman and having fun in the snow, but Captain Sergei was working hard today. I had too much coffee yesterday, and this place over here, they have a brand new Dunkin' Donuts. Here's a photo I took inside. Very clean, super nice, free Wi-Fi, and they open at 5, and I was there at 6. Got my first Americano of the day, but I said that's it. I'm not drinking coffee after 12 o'clock. Well, maybe after 1, because I don't know, like I woke up at 5 o'clock and I couldn't sleep, and it didn't help that next to me was a reefer guy. I love those guys, they always keep you on your toes, and so what I did today was I prepared my bill of lading for this aircraft motorized stair. I prepared my bill of lading, I prepared my invoice, very important. So as soon as I deliver, I'm gonna send the invoice to my factoring company and it will be paid usually on the same day, right? And then I wrote up my route, because I'm so tall. Pennsylvania was straight, like 84, 380, 81, whatever. Like there was no detours. But in New York it's gonna be like this to get towards Buffalo. And so I wrote them up on a piece of paper, and I'm gonna be following them tomorrow. And then Pennsylvania, I checked my permit. They don't give you that half an hour before before sunrise. You can only start driving at sunrise, and I'll have to double check when the sunrise is. But Binghamton, New York is a short drive away, and there's a curfew in Binghamton for rigs over 72 feet long. And so I got myself this tape, very nice, 11 bucks. And I measured my foot, and it turns out my foot is 12 inches, so which of course is how it should be. We're good, so which means that I don't have to follow the curfew. because I'm right on the money. So I can cross into New York and go through Binghamton between 7 and 9. So I'm going to leave from here at sunrise and start moving towards the border. Now, one thing here where I have all these tools spread out is I'm in position 1 of my 5 height controller, but I want to go lower because this thing is pretty tall. I just want to be safe, and I found Hendrickson manual online. And how do you make it lower? It's like can be very confusing, right? Do you have to lift it or do you have to drop it? And they say that this arm, this is called linkage, this is called arm, the arm. So in order to add the air, increase the height, you have to lift it. So this to be higher. This has to be higher if you want slightly higher ride height. If you want a lower ride height, you drop it. So this has to go like this. So basically this has to be shorter. But as you can see, I only have one hole left in here. So, but, which is actually good. So I'm gonna remove it. But when I'm done with this load, I'm not gonna put it back because it's pretty much a very short amount. We're gonna put the camera somewhere here. It's a very awkward location here. And then another obstacle tomorrow is the fact that it's Thanksgiving in Canada, and I'm oversized, right? So I went online. Well, first I checked my annual permit, and it does say that on an official holiday, statutory holiday, you can only drive until 12 noon in Canada. Okay, and I checked, and Thanksgiving is a statutory holiday. So the distance from here to Toronto International Airport is about 300 miles. So I'm not gonna make it, you know? So, which means that the delivery cannot be done tomorrow. Okay, so you see? So yeah, we're gonna raise it by one hole. That's all I can do. Just don't wanna lose this. Stuff. Alright, so we're just gonna go like this. Yeah. One hole. And you see, and it lets the air out, right? it goes lower until this thing becomes horizontal. That's it. That's my mod of the day. And like I said, I think I'm gonna keep it like this because this is helpful for tall loads. All right, and the last thing I wanted to talk about is somebody asked me on Facebook whether I miss my drop side rail trailer. Yeah, I see. So now it's gonna be position 1, but it's gonna be a bit lower. Maybe half an inch, I don't know, which can help. So I want to show you two areas where a drop side rail trailer wins. So first of all, it's this area. So this is a level deck trailer, right? And so it's very steep, especially this being a 60 ton, so it's very tall in here, whereas a 55 ton was probably, I don't know, like this much. Like the metal was, there was less metal involved, right? And so the sides were lower, but they were also lower because there was a drop side rail, right? So on the sides it was 16 inches, I think, or more like 15, and in the middle it was 23. It was 8-inch drop. And so the loading angle was much smoother, you know. Like I never had machines like if you're loading like a grinder or a big excavator just drop, you know. Like it happened quite a few times with this trailer, because here the only way to load something that will not drop down is you have to put some timbers like somewhere here, you know, in front of the trailer, and then let the machine crawl on them. But they have to be like very strong timbers to support the weight of that big machine, and then that raises the rear of the machine, and then the angle becomes you know, smaller, and so it doesn't do that, you know. So that's one area where DSR or drop side rail trailer is better. The second part is that the height, the overall height. If your machine has no issues with the ground clearance, then of course a drop side rail trailer is better, because then, you know, usually you're like 13.6 and you can go on the toll highway, you know. Whereas with this trailer, quite a few times I'm above 13.6, and that's okay if you're somewhere like in Oklahoma or Texas, where you can get a permit and all the bridges are at least like 17-18 feet tall. But like Midwest, I mean over here, you know, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, it's a bit tricky. So it would help to have the lower overall height. And so when people ask me about this, what kind of trailer to buy, I would say that if you have a lot of loads in your area where you can choose, right, where you're not going to be limited by having to deal with the ground clearance issue. Like if you're like, especially in the States, if you're in the States and you haul loads between points inside US, then a drop side rail is a great trailer. Just be ready that when there's no loads, you won't be able to do something like this, because this thing is so low. Like you cannot load this on a drop side rail unless you have, I don't know, a ton of dunnage. But even then, you know, dunnage, like you cannot use one board, you'll have to use 2 or 3, and then how do you keep the machine on them, because they will start moving, you know. It's just not safe, you know. Like something like this, and sometimes, you know, you gotta do this unless you specialize in some crazy heavy stuff all the time. But you know, I cannot afford that in my case, because I'm in Canada. We don't have as many loads as you guys in the States have, and so I was losing loads, specifically like something like this, or if you remember, I did a video where I deadheaded to Washington DC, to the airport, to pick up aircraft towing tractor, and I could not do it because it was 6 inches off the ground. It was very low, and no matter how many boards we put on, like we could not do it because it was, you know, basically about to fall off the trailer, so we had to abort the mission. And so DSR trailers, drop side rail trailers, so they have advantages and they have, of course, disadvantages. And again, so if you're in an area where there's lots of loads and you can, you know, just if there's a load with low ground clearance, you just skip it and go to the next one, then it's okay, right? But if you're in an area like me where you don't have that many loads to choose from, then, you know, you lose loads, it hurts, right? And so a level deck would be beneficial. And also, like geography wise, right, if you do a lot of hauling here like New England, you know, where they have lots of low bridges, a drop side rail would be beneficial, because the height is an issue. Like some people were saying, hey, that's not a big deal, you can always get a permit. And I find that that's not that easy. For example, in New York, if you are at 14 or higher overall height, you already you need to have an escort. And so that's money out of your pocket, right? Because escorts don't work for free. So anyway, it's a delicate situation. So again, it's pluses and minuses. So sometimes I miss the drop side rail, mostly during loading, and when I cannot go on a throughway in New York because I'm above 13.6, But this trailer also gives me extra loads that I was missing with the drop set drill. And specifically this trailer is also modular, right? And this is a much more expensive trailer than my previous 55 ton. Why? Because it's a tandem. So I'm gonna put the Stinger in here, and I'll be running as a 2+2, which is my, you know, lifetime dream, to be able to go 2+2+2. And again, that 55 ton trailer, it was a 55 ton. Fontaine does not allow a flip box longer than 23. Of course, you can go to a custom shop and let them make you something, but you know, it's dangerous. Whereas with this one over here, you see, I have each position, I have 60 tons and 12 feet. Even with a tandem, the frame has 60 tons and 12 feet. With a trident, 60 tons and 12. With a quad, 60 tons and 12. 2+2, 60 tons and 12. And even 3+1, 60 tons and 2. And you see here, it has the flip. And that's the 83 inches, because actually even all the marketing materials, they only show one flip box, one neck extension, which is 83 inches, which is what you need for a tandem Jeep. Like, this one is not advertised anywhere. This is 36 inch, but evidently you can get it, but you have to order it. And I think I'll be selling this one. So if somebody has a 60 ton Fontaine, and you don't use a Jeep, you know, let me know. Maybe we can do some business. I can sell you this, because this is a genuine Fontaine 36 inch flip box neck extension for a 60 ton trailer. Very hard to find, very hard to find. Okay, that's it. So today's Sunday. I'm still here enjoying the weather, and then we're gonna start moving tomorrow. But again, like I said, chances are I won't be able to deliver Monday because of the curfew in Ontario. No oversized loads after 12 o'clock noon. So I'll have to I can cross the border and shut down right there, because there's a Flying J pilot right at the border on the Canadian side. And probably I'll shut down and then deliver in Pearson International on Tuesday. And the last thing I gotta do today is, well, now, I mean, I gotta do my ACI, my manifest to cross the border. And over there in the distance, very far away, that's I-81. So New York is this way, and south is this way.